Today, we are going to be taking a look at the YouTuber Doktor Skipper. Now, I've seen this guy pop up in my Twitter timeline quite a lot, and every time I see him mentioned, it's always someone praising him or just some of his dumbass shit. After thoroughly going through his channel, I can confirm I'm going to do one thing no man has ever done. I am going to criticize Doktor Skipper. Now, before we get started, I just want to recap on what I just said. I am going to critique Doktor Skipper. Now, doctors, besides Doktor Skipper of course, have proven that such a stupid act has a failure rate of 99%. But that's alright, I'm different from the other girls. So without further ado, here we go. Doktor Skipper, baby! Before we really get started, I feel like I should just say a few things. I really like Doktor Skipper.
Yeah, I know, right? Doktor Skipper is so hot.
I mean his content, fuck! So for those of you watching, please don't make any assumptions, watch this video through and then tell me what you think. I simply just think critiquing things is fun. Pointing out flaws in something or someone could actually help the subject be better, and even if the subject disagrees, it still is, in my eyes, interesting to discuss differences we have. I mean, heck, that's why I want to be a commentary creator after all. At the end of the day, Doktor Skipper has flaws, I have flaws, you have flaws, and that's okay. I'm sure some of the people who heard me say that I'm going to be criticizing Doktor Skipper started frothing at the mouth. To think me, an inexperienced content creator, could take on the almighty Doktor Skipper, a bird so legendary and ruthless that looking in his eyes would turn you to stone. Jokes aside, some people really do consider him to be extremely good. And you know what? It's true. Doktor Skipper is one of those rare shooting stars that happen to land upon the commentary community. For what it feels like the past 2 years, the drama commentary community has been filled with people who lack passion. And let me just say, passion is my favorite thing in a person. To know someone is so dedicated that they would go above and beyond for the sake of creativity will always be my favorite trait. Take this video for an example. While I don't consider myself to be really good at commentary or anything, I still try and put lots of effort into my videos so that I may improve on each one. Like using other programs and abilities I have to enhance my videos. Other creators, you know, probably do the same thing. Now, for one last time, I just need to hammer this down once again so people do not get mad. This video was not made with malicious intent. It was simply made to analyze why Doktor Skipper is so good, but also why he's flawed and what you shouldn't do that he does. And some of you may be thinking that this video was only directed towards Doktor Skipper, but that's not true. Just like I said before, since I find criticism so fun, one thing we get from criticism is the ability to learn. Again, even if we don't completely agree, I still find different philosophy interesting if it's good philosophy. And in a way, a lot of the things I criticize Doktor Skipper for could be a whole other video discussing bad traits of the drama commentary community. This intro has gone on long enough, but I feel like I have to justify some things I say in this video while being as descriptive as possible to avoid getting my ass blasted. Anyways, I'm gonna cut the bullshit and get to what you've all been waiting for. A video on Doktor Skipper. So without a further ado, for real this time, let's take a look at Doktor Skipper. Doktor Skipper is a YouTuber who currently has 17.8k as of the time I'm writing the script. And I think the genre I would put him in is variety commentator and drama commentator. If you don't know, I consider pretty much any subject being talked about in a constructive and informative way to be commentary. So to prevent confusion, I'm naming what is usually referred to as just the commentary community as the drama commentary community. Mostly because they talk about other creators that create drama, or are already talking about people who are in drama. Anyways, the reason I consider him this is because some are about a person or people, and some are about general discussions, which I find more interesting, to be honest. If I were to pick my favorite videos, I would have to go with a look back at Over the Garden Wall, Depression in Media, and of course, Integrity versus Benefit. Not even mentioning my all-time favorite, which is Soundtrack to My Life, which is something I'll cover later as I feel like it deserves its own discussion, albeit brief. If you aren't familiar with Doktor Skipper or his videos, I highly recommend checking them out. I see Doktor Skipper as a new pioneer and an inspiration for up-and-coming commentary creators on this platform. His writing, for the most part, excels in his videos, his editing is amazing, and he is well-spoken. While I do think his videos are most recognized for his writing and discussion about actual interesting things, sometimes he can't help himself because this is the third fucking time he's made a joke about STDs lingering in 3 separate videos.
Just like debt, homework, and STDs, they tend to linger. Murder weapons, Pokemon cards, and a funny little character that sticks to you at all times named STD.
I have been looking at shit for fucking hours, dude. I have been rewatching shit. I'm so tired of this, okay? Okay, fine. The joke here doesn't fucking work, because I can only find 2 of them. I'm pretty sure there was a 3rd one. I thought it was in the small commentary one, but I've watched that video like 5 fucking times. Maybe I'm just tripping, so whatever. Fuck! If I were to compare him to anyone, it would be CordWit. CordWit was heavily applauded by bigger creators, although he was a small channel. And now since CordWit has risen up, it seems Doktor Skipper is the next in line. And it's pretty obvious why. These guys make some pretty fucking good videos. It's always been no secret to me why John Swan, Turkey Tom, Nicholas Diorio, Bo Blacks, and others would promote people like these, and not every other small commentary creator in existence. These 2 creators are very unique in every sense of the word, and it's because they're persistent and passionate. Hey, to the one person out there who's watching this video who makes some good-ass content, never give up. Doesn't matter if it takes months or even years. If your content is good enough one day, it will be recognized and you'll notice the people who support you stuck for the long run, and I think that's most beneficial of all. Don't even be afraid to promote yourself or ask for people to share your video or give you their thoughts on it. Small creators need all the support they can get. And if I were to make a prediction for the next best creator, it would probably be CalyspoLive, as he is arguably equally unique and will appeal to the drama commentary audience. Now, for people I personally know that deserve the same treatment is Simian and the channel with the freakishly long name. I don't pity my friends, and you should believe me when I say that they post some of the most high-quality videos I've ever seen for their incredibly fucking ridiculously small size. They've been absolutely fucked by YouTube's algorithm, and they both easily deserve over 1 million subscribers. That's not me bluffing! Oh, yeah, wait, this video is about Doktor Skipper, right? Alright, time for the negative stuff. I dislike small commentary channels. This video about, you guessed it, small commentary channels. Just gonna be honest here, this video is my least favorite video on his channel. Don't worry, it's not like I felt personally offended by the fact that I'm a small commentary channel or anything. It's the fact that he pushes the boundaries of being harsh and just straight up insults people, including young teenagers, which I'll touch on shortly. Now, maybe I'm missing something here, maybe it's because Doktor Skipper has a fucking bird brain, but just to let you know, you quote-unquote doctor, there's this thing in human brains called the cerebral cortex, and this part of your brain is what I like to call les smarte. Your smartness only fully develops until you're 25, and I for one think it's not very hashtag cool of you to use younger teenagers as an example. Yes, they're teenagers, which means their brains have not fully developed. Hell, a lot of the time it's only until they're older that the shit they spew from their brain actually makes sense. So for you to use these teenagers as an example is simply something I can't agree with. Especially with the way you went about it. Not gonna lie, if I saw myself in that video, I would be pretty goddamn demotivated. This video feels like you're bullying them, not being a harsh critic.
There's just a lot of things with Dream I do not like.
Alright, stop. I don't know this person. I'm willing to put $1,000 on the line to bet that they're a child, so I should clarify. This is an example for criticism. Nonetheless, this video is fucking awful.
Span for years.
Alright, that's enough. Once again, this video isn't good at all, but if you look at the rest of the discography on this channel or those surrounding it, you start to recognize a pattern.
Fucking Christ.
With this loud music, bad mic quality, and this annoying ass little fucking subscribe green screen that texts you every 10 seconds like a mosquito. But I digress. Never mind, we got a stand-up comedian here. No script either. God, basically, Jesus. You're still a massive asshole. Dennis, you're not creative, you're not ambitious, and you're not talented. You're just a piece of shit who masks slander and hate with a shield. Dennis, when it comes to you as a person, I think you're a piece of shit. And I think when it comes to YouTuber, you're just not funny and a piece of shit as well. You're a 25-year-old man-child pussy who can't take accountability. And I'm sorry, Mr. Muppet, you could whine and block me on Twitter. I'd rather have someone stick a baseball bat out their car window and smack me in the head going 70 miles per hour than get a pat on the back from you. Maybe I'm just wrong though. Of course, these small channels have to make these videos on Corpse Husband and Mr. Beast. It has to be because they have genuine points to make. It can't be because the channels being discussed are big with followings that would definitely give them a burst of traction. But for real, it makes sense analytically. If you point your finger at the top dog and say anything against the norm, you're gonna turn some heads. But when your video could be summarized in a tweet, that should raise some red flags. The only point made in this video is that he doesn't like Mr. Beast because he finds his content repetitive, which is definitely ironic given that most people in this genre tend to give the 2 cents on everything. Most of the community have lazy takes on lazy topics. Dream sucks, Corpse Husband is overrated, Dream's fan base is annoying. That goddamn Pokemon, I can't believe what you did this time. Of course, you could have these opinions all you want, but it doesn't make you immune to criticism. Making a video ranting about a popular YouTuber where you say nothing but regurgitated statements clearly shows how much interest you have when making the video. It's 3 minutes of nonsense on a topic he clearly has no passion for. I don't judge the video because it's made on Dream, I judge the video because it has nothing to say that's interesting interesting or informative. I state this because when looking at small commentators, I can relate to an extent, so take this with good faith when I say a lot of the content you guys make is not as good as you might think it is. I'm not a snob who sips rich wine, but don't give me dog shit and claim it's a cheeseburger. These videos contain nothing but plot summary that state the obvious while making coin flip jokes that could probably get a laugh out of someone who's schizophrenic. If Kanye West killed a kid, I don't give a shit that he ate breakfast that morning and then proceeded to get his mail in his Gucci slides. Tell me what I want to hear and give me your takes on the topic. Yes, some people who do this are successful to an extent, but when you throw enough shit at the wall, it's bound to stick. Doesn't make it any less lazy though. If you truly have a gripe with something, put more effort in your argumentation and present it in an informative way. You don't need plugins and fancy transitions for the editing to be considered good. A 3-minute video that consists of chopped audio and stolen background footage is not comparable to creators who put in effort in audio engineering, scripting, and video pacing. Not to toot my own fucking horn, but if this video was just me doing this without changing the frame or giving context on screen while I spitball my gripes off the top of my head, this video would be so fucking unorganized and boring. A good video requires effort. When looking at the pyrocynical situation, you see so many videos repeating the same point and you wonder why Turkey Tom's video stands out. It's because there's effort to put into the video. There's a flow, it's visually grasping, and there's something actually interesting to be said. Am I biased to essay commentators? Yes, absolutely. A video essay that goes into depth about the creator's thoughts is far more interesting to me than surfing footage stating that something is stupid or cringe. But hey, this is all just my 2 cents as an outsider looking in.
I think as a critic, it's only fair for you to supply the positives to their content as well as what they should do to improve their content. How about, instead of insulting them, tell them what is fundamentally flawed about their video as well as how they should improve upon it. You seem to explore the first half of this despite it being mean, and the second part is just non-existent. If I were you, I would do just that. Instead of insulting, a good alternative is being harsh, which you do in your video, and do it well. You bring up a lot of good and interesting points, so I'm a bit confused as to why you don't add on to them as well as tell the YouTubers what they should do to make their content more interesting. I would say, make videos on more interesting or obscure topics, improve on confidently speaking, script your videos, recommend editing programs that are efficient or infinitely resourceful like Filmora and Adobe Premiere. Of course, you would elaborate on this, but I'm just using this very general summary as an example. And going back to how this video feels like you're bullying them rather than being a harsh critic, something I will discuss later on is how these videos directed towards a person or people kinda have an identity crisis. Is the video supposed to be about criticism or about bullying? Because let me tell you, a video with both will always be broken. Ah yes, let us insult and attack the creator, that'll teach him. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when the drama commentary community went after the storytime animation community. Easily the most abysmal display of some of my favorite critics, and it's because they did the same exact shit. Again, I'll go on about this later, but I highly recommend checking out Quin Curlo's video on it. This is easily one of my favorite commentary videos of all time. It completely changed the way I thought about criticism and gave me a whole 360 on the situation. A ton of the points in this video also feel very reminiscent of hers, if not, you can make direct comparisons. Now, let's see what Doktor Skipper has to say about his edgy persona.
Everyone on YouTube is a character to an extent. In this video I might come off as aggressive and even an asshole to an extent, but this is technically a character. My character of Doktor Skipper is an enhancement of myself. And of course this does actually give me an excuse to comedy. If I'm insensitive, rude, or judgmental, that's just my character writing. The most popular example of this is Filthy Frank. Filthy Frank is volatile, offensive, and disgusting, but George Miller should never receive any accountability for this. Frank's a written character, and because he's a written character, George deserves to be disconnected from this. Frank and Joji are just two different people. Frank's actions are for entertainment, and the only people usually getting hurt in the process is himself. Frank's opinions, actions, and statements are all self-contained. If Frank was to make an edgy racist joke, George Miller can claim that this was for a character and that's justified. Characters are made with the intentions of displaying narratives or entertainment. If you play a racist person in the movie, does that make you a racist person? Of course not, that's ridiculous. You're just playing a racist character, you don't deserve the attachment.
Now, what's my take on this? Yes and no. Of course you can have a persona to make your videos more interesting, have more impact, be more entertaining, etc. But let me point that word out, entertainment. The reason I have a problem with edgy personas in the drama commentary community is because most of the time, they're talking about other content creators. You know, other people. And that's where it all goes wrong. If we were to take a fictional character like Rick, who's the edgiest motherfucker on television right now, we can justify him despite me saying that content creators are a problem when he isn't. Rick is an alcoholic, self-destructive, egotistical, nihilist, megalomaniacal, psychopath, manipulative douchebag. But there's one catch. All of this makes him funny. So then you're probably asking yourself, okay, but then why is this a problem with Doktor Skipper or anyone else who does it? Well, because Rick doesn't exist. For as much as Rick will murder people, tear down his families, and every other fucked up thing he does, at the end of the day, these characters don't have feelings. These characters can't be affected by his actions in a literal sense. So in a way, all the crazy fucked up shit he does is funny because it's so crazy and comical, but it's also fictional.
Frank's actions are for entertainment, and the only people usually getting hurt in the process is himself. Frank's opinions, actions, and statements are all self-contained. Frank's actions are for entertainment, and the only people usually getting hurt in the process is himself. Frank's opinions, actions, and statements are all self-contained. Frank's opinions, actions, and statements are all self-contained. Frank's opinions, actions, and statements are all self-contained.
So here's the thing. You mentioned that your persona is edgy and it's an excuse for comedy, but that isn't true. Can you argue this with Rick? Absolutely. But the difference is Rick doesn't grab a microphone and start criticizing someone while insulting them like you do, and that's the problem. Now, I've been saying this a lot, and the truth is Doktor Skipper is far from the edgiest content creator, and I highly doubt any of these channels in his video were super deeply affected by him telling them to stop. However, as a critic, you need to ensure that your criticism is, well, good criticism. And while overall the video wasn't directly towards the people that you covered, and rather the subject of why you dislike small commentary channels, I still think it's completely justified for me to say that you shouldn't have been rude, insensitive, and judgmental. Not only is majority of the things you say in this video deconstructive, but you can't make the excuse for comedy because there's nothing comedic about what you said. And to be honest, it doesn't really make sense to me why you would feel the need to portray it. Why do you feel the need to diss the creator? It's not creative, it's not comedic, and will overall just negatively impact the reaction of the creator you're talking about. Again, I don't see an excuse here for comedy. If you want to argue it's impactful, sure, but it will still always be insulting. You've made edgy jokes before that distance themselves from personal disses, and I will say most of them are well done. You have the bird that stares into your soul, and the speaking voice that fits along with your character adjacently. But do you know what doesn't fit along with each other adjacently? Entertainment criticism and the creator that is the subject of criticism. If you play that kind of game, you're always at risk of the subject retaliating because you delivered your criticism in a super ill-mannered way. In fact, I believe some creators actually use this to their advantage, so when the creator responds, they'll blame it on how they can't take criticism rather than them actually being confused, and a lot of the time not knowing how to respond to it. So, at this point, I feel like I can say that this is something I could certainly criticize you for. And why it's something you should change in the future. For those of you wondering, okay, but why is insulting people a big deal? And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you have a healthy set of morals. Doktor Skipper by no means has fallen into the same fate as the ones who criticize the storytime animators, but I am afraid this could be an outcome. Basically, what happened was when the drama commentary channels were criticizing the storytime animation community, they made the animators out to be horrible, egotistical people who can't take criticism, when in reality, after insulting them, the storytime animation community retaliated back, and then the commentary channels acted like they were surprised. And I can definitely see the same thing happening here, especially considering you covered kids. Again, I will reiterate, these insults are far from the most vile shit you've ever heard, however, I do think it's something that he should change. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's realized this and is already changing. On the other hand, I also wouldn't be surprised if he didn't realize it. So what's the conclusion for this section? The conclusion is that Doktor Skipper being rude, insensitive, and judgmental is worth criticizing when he doesn't use it for an effect on comedy, and rather, it's a problem when he uses it maliciously against creators for what I can assume to be impact. It simply isn't, for lack of a better term, ethical to combine both bullying and criticism in your videos. It's a recipe for disaster. If you want to be a peak edgelord and bully people, you can do it correctly, believe it or not.
What we do here is go back.
Take iDubbbz's video on Leafy for an example. iDubbbz knew that Leafy was a bully, so he completely exploited it. iDubbbz bullied the bully because he knew Leafy was bad enough to deserve it. In fact, I would argue it would be justified for Doktor Skipper to make a video bullying Deaf Noodles because of what Deaf Noodles has done. But since the actual video includes both bullying and criticism, it is left feeling unorganized and poorly executed. A bad precedent for people Doktor Skipper will cover, and I'm afraid for the people who aren't like Deaf Noodles will receive the same tactics. By now, you've probably noticed that I hammered the absolute shit out of this, and again, it's so I can see this from all perspectives and to avoid common arguments against what I'm saying. This is a video I feel needs to be as descriptive as possible, so that people will actually give me the chance. I'm psychoanalyzing it, if you will. So, by now, I'm not sorry if you're falling asleep or breaking your keyboards. Fucking deal with it. Whew! We're back to the good stuff for a little bit. Soundtrack to My Life is easily the best video on Dr. Skipper's channel. I hardly even feel like saying in my opinion because this is just an absolute fact to me. For those of you who haven't watched it, I highly recommend it to just anyone really. The video includes Dr. Skipper reminiscing about who he was, how he's improved, and what his plans are for YouTube and just him in the future. This video feels like a real human being with real human emotions. And honestly, it begs the question of why don't you just act like this in all your videos? Like I said before, your monotone speaking voice and spooky character will still remain, but I don't want to get sidetracked again, so let's discuss more about this video. Remember that thing I said about how passionate is my favorite trait in a person? Well, this video, for one, expresses a lot of that in one beautiful story that feels like an excerpt of his current life and a reflection of it. I could personally relate a lot with his struggles, and it makes the video only feel more impactful. If I go on with this section, I feel like I'd cover every single thing about the video, and obviously that's pretty crazy already considering the length of this video, so I don't want to try and summarize it further as I feel like it would be a disservice to the actual thing. My best recommendation would be to watch it and take it in for yourself. So go fucking do it. Click off this video. This video is fucking dog shit. Well, believe it or not, Dr. Skipper, but you are an inspiration. You are a person people look up to. Okay, editor's note, but he just posted a video about influence in media, and yeah, he basically confirms what I just said, so hopefully that already proves my point a bit better. I know you may think I'm crazy for saying this, but it's true. And here's a bit of a problem I have with that. Let me tell you a story quickly. I was in Dr. Skipper's live stream, I don't know, I think he was playing Call of Duty or something.
Oh my god, Mom! I had a computer virus, and I got scared that I had the virus. And when I was getting out of my chair, my pants were slipping, and I was pulling them up and getting back on the chair.
Anyways, while watching him, he seemed like a cool dude, as did everyone else imply, so I joined his Discord and I just kinda left it sitting there for a few days. Eventually, I joined the VC and began to make some observations. Observation number 1. Most, if not all, people I talked to were all arrogant and rude. Observation number 2. Their personalities were exactly as their personalities in their videos, and I mean this in the most negative way possible. Observation number 3. Drama. Drama somehow fucking happens! So, what can we take away from this, and what does it have to do with Dr. Skipper? Well, it's a bit tricky, but I think I got it. These people are edgelords. Now, why are they edgelords? Because throughout their life of watching YouTube, some of their idols at one point or another have probably had edgy personas. Heck, I mean, one of the guys I talked to had a whole video about the edgy era, and how he missed 2016 and looked up to Leafy. Now, do you see why looking up to Leafy is a fucking problem? Obviously, I can't completely blame a guy for being a massive dick on any person, really. That would be absolutely ridiculous. However, I do think there's an overall negative culture surrounding the commentary channel's personas, and this is why I believe the commentary community is such a toxic community to begin with. And on top of this, so many of these channels have terrible moral compasses. I left the server ever since I had an absolutely terrible experience in the VC with many of these people. If I were to take a guess, it seems like you don't care much about your Discord server as much as you claim you do, and preventing it from being toxic is something I highly doubt you prioritize. From what I've gathered from Dr. Skipper's Discord server is that Dr. Skipper created it so viewers could be more attached to his content literally, by getting notifications and such. If the rules actually applied to his server, it would be dead because all the active people do this. It just ends up leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and I am happy to say goodbye to it. Now, don't get me wrong, just because Dr. Skipper has some bad qualities doesn't mean I don't either. I'm not perfect, I of course have to finish the sentence by stating I like FNAF. Shit, wait, I can already feel the likes being unclicked. I also don't have the best editing skills, I can't draw for shit, I'm not the best speaker. For a quick summary, I'm kind of a fucking idiot. But I think the overall message I wanted to spread in this video is that there is no such thing as a perfect creator. Even greats like Dr. Skipper could be criticized. Now whether or not I did a good job is up to you. Personally, I have no idea what the fucking reaction of this video will be. And to be frank, it scares the shit out of me. I'm genuinely scared to release this video. Deep down, there's a lot of anxiety going on telling me that a lot of people will just read the title or they watch the intro and assumed I had nothing to say. Well, I hope what I said was valid even if you didn't agree with it. I wouldn't even know what to think if Dr. Skipper saw this video. Would he respond? Would he DM me or just ignore it? I don't know the guy personally, but if I were to guess, perhaps we could talk about this video in the DMs. I would really appreciate that. Dude gives me real Asgore vibes because when everyone talks about him, he's like... And then in his videos, he's like... Congratulations, you now get the joke behind the transitions in this video along with me sticking it in when I couldn't think of anything. Anyways, I don't want to waste any more of your time, dear viewer, so I'll see you. Thank you very much for at least just fucking hearing me out. And thank you very much to Suited Burr for patching up the thumbnail. I give Dr. Skipper an
absolutely mental
out of 5.
Let's go. They wanna know if he can rap and tell them really. Tell my bitches call me cause I done finally got a million. Let's go. You know how bitches like to act when they get pretty. Like to turn a nigga down as I act and I can jig. Fuck around and tell her no, I wanna fuck the bitch to switch. I'll be out of backwoods, shit. Fuck it, get a switch. Smoke a blunt, but do no other drug. Turn up and get some liquor. And I know I look good, so take a pic. Hey, babe, I know that I look good, you ain't got a clap. It ain't my birthday, but I wish a nigga would. I ain't got a rap. Blow out a candle on the booty, that's in case she make it clap. She make it shaky at the shack. She tryna break a nigga back. Yeah,
Dr. Skipper, do you know what Undertale is? And if so, do you like Undertale? I definitely know what Undertale is, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't very much played it.
Wait, what? Yeah, never mind, this guy fucking sucks.